Hi and welcome to Game Creation, and this is episode 2 of creating Snake, the old classic on the mobile phone. So yesterday we did all the setup really, getting the array sorted and being able to display onto the screen, but there's no interactivity, and we hate games without interactivity because they're just a picture. So we want some interactivity here, so we're going to control the player, and that's going to be today's focus. So let's get started. Okay, so this is the game at the moment. It's not the most interesting thing in the world. So what we want to do is add some interactivity. So I'm actually going to create a group to sort out the interactivity. So insert a group and just control. And we're going to have some simple keyboard controls. So what we're going to do, up, down, left, and right. Now we probably could do with a data store, so I'm going to create an active, and this isn't going to be used for anything other than and I normally just paint them so that I can identify them. It's just going to be used to store data in alternable values, and we'll need we can do an alterable string direction. I mean, I could use alterable values being like 1 means up, 2 means right, and etc. But I'm just going to go for brevity on this. Okay, so if up is pressed, then direction is going to... Oh, not direction. Alterable value of... It's alterable string. Alterable string. I normally do them as alterable values, but I'm not for this project. I don't know why. Is up, that's going to be down, and the reason we store the direction like this is because the direction is only used in the beat, so the beat will be every time the snake moves, then it wants the direction, so it doesn't necessarily want it straight away. When you press up, your snake won't go up, so we need to store what direction you want. And then when it's ready, when it's actually, the beat is happening, or the tick, or whatever you want to call it, the tick of the clock is happening, then it will move up, okay? So what we want to also do is insert a conditional here to say, so we can compare the alterable value. So compared to the alterable string even, it won't do that if it's down. So we want direction different to down, because on Snake you can't go backwards on yourself, and so we just stop the player being able to do that. And when you're going left, you can't be currently going right. And this isn't the perfect way of doing this, because actually you can, if you press like quickly up and then right, you can go back on itself if it's going left, but I can't be bothered to go down that rabbit hole. If it's an issue, what I do is I'll have the tick create a direction and then compare it to that, so the actual direction of the tick, but we'll worry about that later. Okay, so that's the direction sorted. Now the problem with this bit is it just happens at the start, and it's not much of a game if you only get an update from the array at the start. So we want all of this stuff, all of the gubbins, to happen every tick. So we're going to maybe create a new group. We'll call it tick. And all we're going to do here is we're going to have an every event. So I don't know, every half a second. And we're going to do it all with fast loops. So create a start loop and call it tick. And we're only going to do it once. Now with 2.5 plus, which is a DLC, you can actually create child events. So what I could do is insert a child event here, or I can't really remember how to do it. Add new child event, there we are. Add new child event there. And you could create all the child events here underneath and you wouldn't need to create a fast loop. But I know a lot of people don't have 2.5 plus, so I'm trying to avoid using too many of 2.5+'s features. And this will be the tick loop here. We'll probably need quite a few of them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is import this across, because this is going to only happen during a tick. And so we're going to have a start display X. We can actually just move these. Happens more often than not. Okay, so let's just drag these in here. Now we don't actually need the on loop tick here, because these can only ever happen on the tick loop. So we don't actually need to have the tick loop here as well, because these cannot happen unless this is fired, and this is only fired during the tick loop. We can have it as well. I don't know whether actually it would be a problem. Maybe it would be a problem. Let's just run it now and see. And it is creating this again and again. And if we have a look at the objects, there's going to be a lot of active objects here, because it's creating them every half a second, which we need to deal with. And the other thing we need to do is update the array for the player, because to create movement, we don't want the player to be at, 3-5 anymore. We want them to be at the position they should be at. So to do that, we'll need to create another loop, and I'm going to call this, I don't know, move X. Is this one, or move array? So we're going to emulate movement in the array, and we're going to have the same setup as here. So I'm just going to drag that across here. So display X, but instead of that, actually I should probably copy that. Instantly move array X. Should probably copy the quotes as well. That would have been helpful. And then we're going to have a move Y. Move array Y. And then I'm just going to drag this in as well. Oh, hang on. No, undo that, because that's being used. So let's just copy and paste that and then just change them manually. Even though I said I wouldn't. Okay, so we want to copy that. This will be move array Y. Alright, and we're just going to get rid of this. Okay, so we need an extra couple of alterable, probably alterable values, because we need to store the new X position of the player and the new Y position of the player. Okay, so what we're going to do with this loop is figure out where the player is and see whether, or find out where the player is currently. So find out where it's equal to 1. Okay, and we need to change those words. This is why I don't like copy and pasting too much, so you forget to change things. We'll change that to X. So we're looking through each of the array elements and seeing where the player currently is, and this will only fire when we find where the player is. Now we could store this separately in variables and do it that way. I don't really know why I'm not doing that, but what can you do? Now during this, what we want to do is figure out whether they're going up, down, left or right. And so we just need to insert one here, and we say direction. So alterable string direction if it's equal to up. Now we're going to figure out what the new position is. So we want to set both alterable values of X and Y. X will just be the same as the current X. So it'll be the move array X. Just be the same. Okay, because they're moving up, but the Y coordinate will be -1 because up is -1. Okay, So you take away 1 to move up. Copy this, and we're going to do down. Same thing again, but this time it will be +1 because +1 means down. Copy and paste again, and this time we're going to have, which one did I put? Right. I have right. And the Y position, oh, select Y coordinate. Why have I done that? Ah, that's really dense. Okay. That's me being sleepy. It's the alterable value of new Y. Okay, so what I'm going to do is double click in here, copy that, go back to Event Editor, click on here, or double click on here, paste that, drag it down, and delete that. How easy is that? Okay, let's try again. So this time it's not going to be that, and we need to actually change that to a +1 because it's moving down. Okay. And that's X. Oh my goodness, I'm doing well today. I'm doing well. Should be the Y. I was getting confident, you see, that's my problem. So whenever I get confident, I start rushing things. Okay, and if we're moving right, we add 1. And then just finally copy and paste that 1 more time because we're going to be moving left. And instead of adding 1, we're going to be minusing 1. So this isn't actually doing anything to the array, it's not doing anything to anything, it's just finding out where the new position is. But on this loop also, we need to wipe out the array, so we don't want it to be 1 anymore, because the player's not going to be there anymore. So we want it to change to 0. So we're just going to look into the array, write a value to the XY, and we just go write 0, and the X, right, let's do this the long way. I never recommend typing it in manually, because if you have like a single spelling mistake, it won't work, and you'll be scratching your head to figure out why. Okay, so we just go remove the 1 from it. So if it's a 1, it's gone because the player's moved. And we'll change this later on, but for now this will work nicely. Okay, so that's figured out where they currently are. And when we've gone through all that process, we need to update the array value. And so just on tick after that's happened, we just need to now write the value of 1 to where they currently are at, and we can get that through the values we've just written. Simple as that. Save it and run it. Okay, that's interesting. I think I know why that's happening. Okay, so the first thing we've forgotten to do is set an initial direction, and so I normally just have something at the top which just sets all the defaults, and so position, where am I going? Multiple string, and you always start off going right in this game, so we're just going to click right. And let's just see whether that works, which hopefully it will. There we are. Perfect. Now, you'll see an issue is that it's not deleting anything, it's saving all of them, and it should. That's what we've programmed it to do, just blindly save everything. So what we need to do is find a way of wiping out, at the start of the tick we wipe out everything, and we can do that by just adding another thing here. Now sometimes this works, sometimes just destroying them works. Let's just see. There we are. Sometimes it doesn't, depending on your conditions. But it's just deleting them all and then drawing that one, and deleting them all and then drawing that one. How cool is that? And we've got 27 lines of code. We've got a dot moving across the screen. We shall try and beat that, I think, in the next one. So next time we're going to be trying to make it a bit more of a game and trying to have the food appear so that the snake will eventually grow. So please keep the comments coming in. This whole series was made because of a comment made last week. So please keep the comments coming in. I have absolutely no plans for next week's project, so I'm looking for inspiration from you guys. I'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more from us, please click subscribe. We release videos every single weekday at 7 PM UK time. Thank you.